In this tutorial, we're going to look at the if-else starter code. So I'm going to go up to the browser address bar and type in @marinmaker after the repel.it, hit enter, and that takes us to our Marin Makerspace page. We're going to go down to the starter code if-else, click on it, and when it opens, I'm going to fork it to create a copy of it to my account. Now that I have that copy, I'm going to hide the files. So we have our topic overview. We're specifically looking at the else statement in this starter code, and else is used as a catch-all. So if the condition is false, so if, and then we have our condition, weather equals rain. If that's false, then the computer would skip down to the else and run the indented code there instead. Previously, we didn't have an else and the program just ended. So now we're adding an else, and it's a good practice to, whenever you have an if statement, to also have an else. So let's investigate. Add comments to explain what's happening with each statement and when each statement will be printed. So we have a variable weather that is saving the user input, which is how's the weather, rain or sun. So really the user could put anything, but we're hoping they'll put in rain or sun. Then we're saying if weather is equal to rain, so our condition here, and we're using the Boolean double equals, so that's if the condition that the weather variable, which is the user input, is equal to rain, and it's lowercase rain, remember case counts, then it will print better take an umbrella. Else, so weather does not equal rain, which means it could equal sun or it could equal anything else really, because there's no condition here, we're just having else. So else, so otherwise weather does not equal rain, and output is enjoy a beautiful day. Okay, let's give that a run. I'm going to turn off the statements down here. Okay, so let's run this and see what we get. How's the weather, rain or sun? So I could type in either. Let's type in rain. And I got better take an umbrella because I typed in something lowercase rain and it matched. I run it again and I type in sun. I get enjoy a beautiful day. Now what if I run it again and instead I type in cloudy, which is not rain or sun, it's something totally different, and I'm still getting enjoy a beautiful day. So it's only accounting for rain here is our condition that we're checking for. Else it will just, the catch-all, no matter what else is put in except for rain, will get enjoy a beautiful day. Now I know that doesn't make much sense when we type in cloudy, but we'll get on to that later in later exercises about how we can catch user input like that. Okay, so I'm going to comment these out while we move on to our next, which was modify. So we're going to add to this code so that it outputs I prefer cake if the user's input does not equal cake. So let's see. So right now, food is a variable. Let's add comments. Food variable stores user input to question save food. Okay. So whatever the user inputs will be their food. If food is equal to cake with a capital C, then it will print that's the best food. However, they'd like us to add an output so that if it's not equal to cake, I prefer cake. So let's add an else. And if you notice, else is when I hit enter, it automatically indented it, but it can't be indented. So I had to remove that indentation. I just hit the backspace. So else with a colon, I'm going to print, I prefer cake. Because whatever the user would put in, it would not be cake. Therefore, I want to print what I would prefer. So let's give that a try. Oh, let's stop. I forgot to turn that one off. Okay, run again. What's your favorite food? Let's type in candy. I prefer cake. So my else worked. Let's see if I did type in cake. That's the best food. Okay, so it works. I just had to add that else statement. Now here's a challenge. Adapt the code above this food program so that it works the same way, but uses the not equal Boolean indicator. So this time we were saying if the food is equal to cake, print that's the best food. Otherwise, it would not be equal to cake, and I'd print I prefer cake. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this if and else statement. I'm going to paste it down here, and the not equal. So if it's not equal to cake, I want to print the I prefer cake. And then otherwise, I can assume that they did type in cake and print that's the best food. So I'm going to comment those out. And when let's try, there we go. When you select it all like that and you hold down Command or Control and hit the backspace or the question mark, it should automatically kind of give you those pound signs. Okay, so let's try this and see how that works. So it's still asking what's my favorite food. Let me type in candy. So candy is going to be saved to food. Food will not be equal to cake, so I should see it print out I prefer cake. And I do get I prefer cake. Now let's run that again. And instead of candy, let's put in cake with a capital C. And I get that's the best food. Now if we scroll down a little bit more, I'm going to comment that out though, because I don't want it to run. We want to create a program that stores the number 1337 in a variable called password. So let's start with that. Password equals and a number 1337. And then we're going to ask the user to guess the password and store their input in a new variable. We can name it. So let's use guess equals input. Guess the password. And I'm going to put the password guess on a new line, the \n. And then if the user input is equal to the 1337, then we're going to output password correct. Otherwise, output password incorrect. So that's our if else. So if, then we're going to test the if guess is equal to password, then we're going to print password correct. Else print password incorrect. And what I'm looking at, I just realized, is an input is a string. So guess would be a string, and we can't compare guess a string to a number, because password's a number. So I'm going to turn our password into a number. So I'm going to wrap this input in an int to turn it into an integer. And up here in this guest password, I'm going to give the user a hint, numbers only. Great. So here we go, guess the password, numbers only. If the guess, which is our input, user input turned into an integer, if that equals the password, I'm printing correct, else I'm printing incorrect. Let's run that and see what happens. Oh, what's your favorite food? Hold on. I always forget. Let's comment that out too. Okay, so we're gonna run, we should get guess the password, numbers only. Let's try 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that that's not the password, so we should get password incorrect. Great. Now let's run it again. And let's put in the right password, 1337. Password correct. If you liked that and you want more practice, go to the Marin Maker's repels and try the biggest number. This is a try it code with just another challenge for you to create your own program.